say you want to be great. You say you want millions in your bank account, a body that commands respect, a life where nobody questions your worth. But let me ask you something, with no sugarcoating. What have you done to deserve it? Because right now, you're not in the arena. You're on the sidelines, watching, dreaming, talking, but dreams without action. They're lies, comfortable lies that feel good, but leave you empty. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to be respected. Everyone wants the title, the throne, the applause. But very few, and I mean very few, are willing to suffer in silence, to sacrifice without recognition, to work while no one is watching. You don't deserve the life you desire just because you want it. The universe doesn't care about your plans. It cares about your proof. Do you know why you're not where you want to be? Because deep down, you're hoping success will be handed to you, that someone will notice your potential and open the door. But here's the brutal truth. No one is coming. No one is going to knock on your door and give you the life you keep fantasizing about. You say, I'm ready. I deserve it. I've worked hard. But look closer. Did you really work? Or did you just do enough to feel good about not quitting? You don't get a trophy for showing up. You get results for enduring, for staying when it hurts, for doing what others won't. Every single day, there's someone out there who wants it just as bad as you do. But they're up at 4 a.m. They're eating discipline for breakfast. They're moving in silence while you're still talking in circles. You want to be great. Then earn it with your pain, with your persistence, with your choices when nobody is clapping. This is your warning. This is your call out. This is your test. Because right now, you don't deserve it yet. But if you're willing to prove you're ready, everything can change. Let's be brutally honest right now. You don't deserve it. Not yet. That life you dream about, the respect you want, the freedom, the power, the legacy, none of it is yours right now. Because you haven't earned it. You see, this generation has a problem. We think wanting something is the same as working for it. We confuse potential with preparation. We confuse effort with consistency. But success doesn't respond to how badly you want it. It responds to what you've proven. And the truth is, you haven't proven anything yet. You think life is unfair. Life isn't unfair. It's honest. It rewards action. It punishes comfort. It ignores excuses. Think about it. When was the last time you did something that truly broke you? When was the last time you stayed up grinding while everyone else slept? When was the last time you sacrificed what felt good for what builds greatness? Most people don't want to admit it, but here's what they're really chasing. The look of success without the work, the rewards without the scars, the applause without the isolation. But that's not how the game is played. You don't get to post a few motivational quotes and call yourself a hustler. You don't get to skip the pain and expect the power. There's a reason why winners look different, why their energy feels different, why their presence commands the room, because they've bled for it. They've failed publicly, been laughed at, doubted, hated, and they kept moving. They've worked through anxiety, loneliness, bankruptcy, and heartbreak. They've walked through hell and kept walking. Do you really want to win? Then ask yourself this. Are you ready to be ignored for years while you build? Are you ready to be misunderstood by everyone around you Are you ready to sacrifice comfort, parties, weekends, and sometimes even relationships to get what most people will never have? Because that's what it takes. You say you want to succeed, then why do you still hit snooze every morning? You say you want to lead, then why do you still follow everyone's opinion? You say you want freedom, then why are you a slave to distractions? Here's the truth that changed my life. Nobody owes you anything. The world owes you nothing. You are not entitled to success. You must earn it, brick by brick, day by day. And until you accept that, you'll stay stuck. You'll keep spinning in circles, wondering why your life doesn't match your dreams. Let's break the lie. Just because you've suffered doesn't mean you're entitled to reward. Just because you failed doesn't mean you're close to succeeding. Just because you've worked hard doesn't mean you've worked smart or long enough. Suffering is a signpost, not a shortcut. Too many people use pain as a reason to quit, when pain is actually the only proof that you're on the right path. You have to go through it. You have to live in the discomfort. You have to become the person worthy of the life you want. Because the version of you that exists right now, that version doesn't deserve it. But the version you could become, the one who doesn't run from difficulty, the one who doesn't stop when it gets tough, the one who shows up no matter what, that person will win. So let me ask you again, what have you done to deserve it? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, good, use that. Because discomfort is the birthplace of transformation. And the moment you stop pretending and start becoming, that's when everything changes. You don't deserve it yet. But if you suffer, if you rise, if you become, one day you will. Let's get one thing straight. There's a painful gap between the life you dream about and the life you're living right now. You say you want to be a millionaire. You say you want to be legendary. You say you want impact, freedom, respect. But let's look at your life. Let's look at your routines, your habits, your actions. Because if we're being real, your actions don't match your ambitions. Your discipline doesn't match your desires. Your focus doesn't match your future. And that gap, that brutal, sobering, painful gap, that's the space between where you are and who you need to become. You see, you want the rewards of a lion, but you're moving like a house cat. You want to be elite, but you can't even stay consistent for 30 days. You crave greatness, but settle for comfort daily. And the longer you ignore that gap, the more it swallows you. Look at your day. How much time did you waste today on things that don't move you forward? How much energy did you give to things that will mean nothing 5 years from now? How many moments did you choose ease over evolution? You don't need a new vision. You need new discipline. You don't need motivation. You need execution. Let me tell you something hard to hear. You're not losing to others. You're losing to your habits. You're losing to that version of you that keeps saying, I'll start tomorrow. You're losing to distractions, to laziness, to fear, and calling it being patient. Success is not magic. It's math. You want a better body? Eat clean. Train daily. Track your sleep. You want a better business? Study. Create. Sell. Deliver. Repeat. You want a better life? Build better days. This isn't about perfection. It's about alignment. Every choice is either a vote for the future you want or a vote for the future you fear. There is no neutral ground. Let me paint you a picture. There's a young man sitting in a small room. No resources, no rich parents, no shortcuts. But he wakes up every day at 4 a.m., studies relentlessly, builds his business from his phone, eats once a day if he has to, but never makes excuses. He's not lucky, he's aligned. His actions scream what his words whisper. Now contrast that with someone else, maybe you, scrolling endlessly, quitting early, giving up at the first sign of pain, still wondering why nothing is changing. The gap is real, and every day you delay, that gap grows wider. The difference between who you are and who you could be, that's your battlefield. Here's the truth. Everyone wants to change their life, but very few are willing to change their day. You don't transform your life overnight. You do it inch by inch, decision by decision, by replacing distractions with discipline, by choosing discomfort over delay. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it's lonely. Yes, it's hard. But so is being broke. So is being average. So is waking up every morning knowing you could be more. But you're not. Pick your hard. Let me ask you something. What time do you wake up every day? What do you feed your mind daily? How do you treat your body? What are you building right now that'll still matter 5 years from today? If the answers embarrass you, good. Let that shame push you. Let it become fuel. Let it wake you the hell up. Because here's the good news. That gap, that distance between where you are and where you want to be, it can be closed with relentless work, with ruthless discipline, with radical honesty. Stop lying to yourself. You don't need more time. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need luck, money, or connections. You need brutal clarity, daily discipline, and a hunger so deep it makes your chest burn every time you think about wasting another minute. The life you want is waiting, but it's not coming to the version of you who scrolls, snoozes, and settles. It's coming for the version of you that sacrifices, the version of you that fights for alignment, that closes the gap, that becomes undeniable. Greatness has a price. It's not money. It's not talent. It's not followers or fame. It's pain. It's loneliness. It's patience. It's everything most people aren't willing to pay. You want to be a legend. You want your name to echo through generations. You want your kids to inherit power, not poverty. Then understand this. You must suffer in silence now, so you can speak with authority later. Because greatness isn't free. You don't find it. You don't fall into it. You forge it with blood, with failure, with obsession. Look around. Most people quit when it hurts. They stop when they're tired. They slow down when no one's watching. But the great ones, they keep going. They don't need applause. They don't need a deadline. They don't need motivation. Because they're possessed by the mission. You know what most people don't understand? Discipline is the tax you pay on greatness. And that tax is daily. It costs your comfort. It costs your sleep. It costs your weekends. It costs your ego, your excuses, your addictions. You want to win? Cool. Then be ready to work when others party. Sacrifice when others celebrate. Be misunderstood by family. Be laughed at by friends. Be doubted by those closest to you. Because greatness is a lonely road. But that road leads to power. Ask anyone who's built an empire, who's written history, who's shattered limits. They've all paid the price. They've failed. They've cried. They've bled. They've wanted to quit, but didn't. That's the difference. That's the cost. Let me give it to you straight. You will wake up early and feel exhausted. You will sacrifice nights out to study, build, train. You will go through phases where no one believes in you, not even you. You will have moments where it all feels pointless. You will be tempted every day to take the easy way out, and still, you must not stop, because the pain you feel now is the proof you're alive, the sign you're in the arena while others spectate. You want to be rich, then endure like the poor. You want to be respected, then act like someone worthy of it, because greatness is forged in fire, and no fire is ever kind. Let me ask you something powerful. Can you keep going when nobody believes in you? Can you stay focused when results aren't showing? Can you show up for yourself when no one claps? Because that is the test. You're not tested when you feel strong. You're tested when you feel broken, when your bank account is empty, when your dreams feel far, when your energy is drained, and yet you still choose to rise. That's the price of greatness. And here's the truth. You don't have to pay it, but if you don't, someone else will. And they'll live the life you were too weak to fight for. That should scare you. Not the pain, not the suffering, not the discipline, but the fact that if you don't act now, your dream will be lived by someone else, and you'll be stuck watching it unfold from the sidelines, whispering, "That could have been me." It's not easy, but it's worth it. Because every drop of sweat, every tear, every doubt, every lonely night, it all adds up. And one day, you'll wake up, and it will all make sense. The question is, are you willing to pay the price today, so you never have to settle tomorrow? Because greatness waits for no one, and it sure as hell doesn't discount its cost. Let's get one thing clear. You don't deserve greatness. You earn it. No one owes you success. No one's coming to hand you your dream. No one's going to knock on your door and say, "You've suffered enough. Here's your reward." That's not how this works. You see someone successful, and you think they got lucky. They had help. They had something I didn't. But here's what you didn't see. The 5 a.m. mornings when they trained in silence. The nights they spent crying in frustration, not quitting. The weekends sacrificed. The friends lost. The comfort abandoned. The failures they swallowed without making excuses. They didn't get there by luck. They got there by effort. And effort doesn't lie. You can't cheat the grind. You can't fake consistency. You can't shortcut growth. You can't skip the chapters of pain and still expect the prize at the end. This world has one rule. You get what you earn. And the moment you stop expecting handouts, stop waiting to be ready, stop hoping someone will notice you, that's the moment your real life begins. Entitlement is the enemy of achievement. You think the world is unfair. You're right. But that's not your excuse. That's your edge. Because if you can build something in unfair conditions, if you can grow while everything around you tells you to quit, that's power no one can take from you. You don't need guarantees. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need more motivation. You need ownership. You need to look in the mirror and say, if I want this, it's on me, no one else. No more blame. No more waiting. You know what separates the legends from the lost? It's not intelligence. It's not money. It's not skill. It's hunger. The fire to keep going when it hurts. The discipline to show up when it's boring. The resilience to rise when the world doubts you. That hunger, that's what earns greatness. Let me ask you something serious. Do you show up every single day even when you feel like trash? Do you keep working when you're tired, not inspired? Do you still believe in your vision when no one else sees it? Because if not, then what are you really doing this for? You want to change your life. Earn it. Earn the respect. Earn the body. Earn the money. Earn the freedom. Earn the name people will remember. And that kind of earning, it's quiet, it's lonely, it's slow, it's thankless, until it's not. Seen, a young woman grinding on her laptop. She's failed 5 businesses, rejected by everyone, but she keeps showing up. Eventually, it all clicks. The world starts noticing. They'll tell you overnight success, but they'll never see the 1,000 nights it took. Because success isn't gifted. It's never been given. It's built brick by brutal brick, by people who don't quit. And you've got a decision to make. Keep living in the fantasy that someday it'll all work out. Or wake up and start building that someday with your own hands. Because here's the truth. Success doesn't respond to dreams. It responds to discipline. You want confidence? Earn it. You want to be respected? Earn it. You want to be remembered? Bleed for it. Because every hour you put in, every sacrifice you make, every choice to push when you could pause, it all counts. It all adds up. And one day, when the results come, you'll know deep in your soul, I earned this, and that feeling, it's worth every sleepless night, every failure, every scar, because no one can take it from you. So here's the rule. Stop waiting for permission. Start earning your position. Let's get something real straight. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be relentless. You can break, you can fall, you can cry, scream, stumble, even collapse. But you cannot quit. The world isn't looking for perfect people. It's looking for the last one standing. That's the rule. You can be slower, you can be weaker, you can have less money, less support, less luck. But if you refuse to stop, you will win. Here's the raw truth. Every person you admire, every giant, every winner, every success story, they were just like you. Confused, broke, doubted, ignored. But they kept going. Being unstoppable doesn't mean you don't get tired. It means you keep going even when you're tired. It means you build your mindset like armor, so pain becomes fuel, not a reason to quit. You know what breaks most people? Not failure, doubt. The voice that says, you're not good enough, you'll never make it, you're wasting your time. But hear me now, that voice is a liar. That voice is your enemy. And the only way to beat it is to outwork it. Every time you push past your limit, every time you show up one more day, every time you rise after falling, you silence that voice. And that's how you become unstoppable. You need to stop waiting for the storm to pass. You need to learn to fight in the rain. Because the truth is, things won't always make sense. The path won't always be clear. People won't always support you. Life won't always be fair. But your job is to show up anyway. Seen, a young man rejected from every college. A woman laughed at for starting her business. A teenager mocked for training in secret. The world said no. They said yes to themselves. That's what unstoppable looks like. Not quitting when it's hard. Not backing down when it's dark. Not surrendering just because no one believes in you. You know what people fear the most? A person who refuses to give up because they know you'll win eventually. Here's what you need to understand. Every rejection builds your resilience. Every loss sharpens your instincts. Every failure carves out your character. And all of it, all the struggle, is shaping you into a weapon. You're not weak because you fall. You're only weak if you refuse to rise. And you've got fire in your chest. You've got dreams that scare people. You've got ambition that makes others uncomfortable. You've got a future they can't imagine. So stop walking like you're average. You were built for more. You were born for the top. You just have to refuse to stop climbing. Let me ask you something real. When you feel broken, what do you do? When no one claps for you, how do you respond? When it all falls apart, what part of you stays standing? That's the part that matters. That's the real you. You're not your past. You're not your pain. You're not your failures. You're your persistence. You're your comeback. You're the decision to keep going. That's what defines greatness. Be the person who shows up even when it's hard. Be the one who trains when others sleep. Be the story that begins with, "Nobody believed in me," and ends with, "I made it anyway." Because you can be bruised, but not broken. Tired, but not done. Alone, but not empty. You want to be unstoppable? Then, train your mind to reject excuses. Harden your spirit with consistency. Fall in love with showing up, even when it's hard. You're not weak. You're becoming something powerful, something dangerous, something undeniable. Unstoppable is not a gift. It's a choice, and you have to make it every single day. You can break, but you can't quit. Let's talk about something no one wants to hear. You won't be celebrated for doing the work. Not at first, not by most, maybe not ever. And that's okay, because when you're really chasing greatness, you don't do it for the claps. You do it for the climb. Most people want attention. They want to look successful. They want followers before they have results. They want respect without sacrifice. But real legends, real winners, they grind in silence. They build in the dark. They disappear and return unstoppable. Silence is your sanctuary. It's where your obsession sharpens, where your vision strengthens, where your doubts die and your purpose wakes up. No likes, no validation, no one watching, just effort, just discipline, just quiet progress. Because the truth is, loud people rarely finish. Quiet ones never stop. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Not yet. Let them laugh. Let them doubt you. Let them talk. You don't need to speak. Your results will scream. Remember this. Every rep when no one is watching matters. Every lonely study session counts. Every day you showed up in silence built you. Success isn't about showing off. It's about showing up. Be okay with being unseen for a while. Be okay with sacrificing popularity for purpose. Be okay with being the one who's working while everyone else is celebrating fake wins online. Because when the world finally sees you, you'll be undeniable. They'll say, "Where did you come from? How did you do it? You got lucky." But you'll know the truth. You were in the shadows, doing the work, alone, focused, obsessed. This is where the real power lives. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows, where character is carved, where discipline is forged, where destiny is decided. You want to be great, then disappear. not from the world, but from distractions. Log off, shut out the noise, cancel the praise, forget who's watching, and go to war with your dream. In silence, they won't see the hours, they won't see the pain, they won't see the rejections, they won't see the nights you cried and kept working anyway. But that's the point, because you're not building for attention, you're building for impact. You know who wins? The one who can suffer the longest without applause. Here's what no one tells you. Growth is lonely. Mastery is boring. Focus is misunderstood. And consistency is invisible. But in that silence, you become something they can't explain, can't match, can't stop. One day, the silence will end, and the noise will come. The cameras, the offers, the spotlight, the headlines. But when they ask you where you came from, you'll smile and say, I was here the whole time, grinding in silence. So here's your challenge. Stop telling them what you're going to do. Just do it. Silently, relentlessly, until they can't ignore you. Do the work. Say nothing. Let your results talk forever. This is where most people quit. They feel the pain, and they back away. They taste disappointment, and they give up. But not you, because now you know something they don't. Pain isn't a stop sign. It's a green light, a signal that you're still alive, still moving, still in the fight. When it hurts the most, when everything in your body, your mind, and your soul is begging you to quit, that's when it matters most that you keep going. Scene: a young entrepreneur loses all savings. He stares at the ceiling all night, no answers. But he gets up, again and again. Every time it hurts, you're being tested. Not tested for strength, tested for heart. Not tested for talent, tested for character. Because anyone can keep going when it's easy. Anyone can smile when things are going well. But only warriors keep walking with blood in their shoes. You feel broken. Good. Means you're pushing past average. It means you're stepping into places most people will never go. It means you're getting closer to something real. Pain is your proof of progress. That sore body. Progress. That mental fatigue. Growth. That heartbreak. Experience. That rejection. Redirection. You've got to learn to lean into pain, not run from it, because the pain is temporary. But quitting echoes forever. You want the dream? Then understand this. Success doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't care about your comfort. It doesn't reward the almosts, the maybes, the kind ofs. It rewards the ones who kept going, even when it didn't make sense, even when it wasn't fair, even when it hurt. That's the kind of strength nobody can teach you. You build that in the fire, in the tears, in the nights no one sees, in the moments that almost break you, but don't. You know what happens after the pain. Clarity. Power, control, victory, but only if you stay in the fight. Don't you dare give up because it hurts. You've come too far. You've seen too much. You've bled too often to stop now. This pain, it's just the toll you pay on the way to greatness. Everyone wants a crown, but few want the weight of it. Few are willing to crawl for it. Few are willing to suffer in silence, break in darkness, and rise again in the cold. But those who do, They don't just wear the crown, they become kings, they become queens, they become legends. That's the price, that's the path. And you're built for this. Let me remind you of something important. You're stronger than yesterday, smarter than last year, closer than ever before. So don't stop here. Not now. Not after everything. Pain means you're close. Right before the breakthrough, the pressure is the highest. Right before the miracle, the storm gets wild. Right before the reward, your spirit will beg for rest. But if you can take one more step, you'll walk into a life most people will never know. This isn't about never feeling pain. This is about refusing to let it stop you. Let it shape you. Let it sharpen you. Let it strengthen you. But never let it silence you. Final message appears on screen in bold, blazing letters. Pain is not your enemy. Quitting is. I don't feel like it. You've said it. I've said it. We all have. But here's the cold truth. I don't feel like it is the language of failure. Motivation is a liar. It shows up when things are exciting, when energy is high, when the weather's good, when the results are visible. But what happens when it's not? That's where discipline walks in. That's where winners are made. Motivation is emotion. Discipline is decision. Motivation waits for a feeling. Discipline creates the future, no matter how it feels. If you only work when you feel like it, you'll never get anywhere worth going. You'll start and stop, try and quit, talk and talk and talk, but never build, never finish, never win. Here's what no one tells you. Winners don't always feel like it. They just do it anyway. They train when they're tired. They show up when no one's watching. They study when it's boring. They work when they're doubted. Because they don't obey emotions. They lead them. Discipline is boring. It's quiet. It's thankless. It's lonely. But that's why it works. Because 99% of people won't do it. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel. I care what I'm building. Let that sink in. You want a better life? Stop waiting for the right mood. Stop scrolling for perfect inspiration. Stop lying to yourself that tomorrow will be easier. Tomorrow isn't your solution. Your mindset is. Build a system. Create rituals. Stack wins. Train your mind to obey your vision, not your feelings. Scene, the same alarm clock, the same time. But now, the person doesn't pause. No hesitation, just action, like a soldier answering a call. You're building a version of you that doesn't flinch, that doesn't need to feel like it, that doesn't collapse under pressure, that doesn't let laziness win, because greatness has no room for excuses. Every time you show up when it's hard, every time you move without motivation, every time you choose discipline, you gain power, you build confidence, you hardwire greatness into your identity. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. So build systems that run even when your motivation doesn't. Habits, alarms, reminders, deadlines, daily non-negotiables. Treat your dream like a job, not an idea, not a wish, a commitment. Stop asking, do I feel like it today? Start saying, I do it because it's who I am. Discipline isn't a punishment, it's freedom. Freedom from regret, freedom from guilt, freedom from wasted years. Because when others are stuck in a cycle of quitting and restarting, you'll already be ahead. Motivation may get you started, but only discipline will get you results. You want to change your life? Then do what must be done. Not what's easy, not what's fun, not what's trending. What must be done? Here's your wake-up call. The gym will never feel convenient. Studying will never feel exciting every day. Building your brand will never always feel rewarding. So stop waiting for the feeling. Create a habit. Develop the mindset. Become the machine. I don't need to feel like it. I just need to remember who I'm becoming. Discipline over everything, because your future is worth it. You can't grow if you're too busy being comfortable. That's the brutal truth. You want to rise. You want more in life than the average person. Then listen closely. You will have to give up comfort. Not once, but over and over and over again. Because success has a price, and that price is everything that feels good now, but destroys you later. Sleeping in, scrolling aimlessly, hanging out without purpose, watching success instead of building it. These things steal your future inch by inch, day by day, excuse by excuse. You don't just need motivation. You don't just need talent. You need sacrifice, the willingness to let go of good things for greater things. Comfort zones are beautiful prisons. They wrap you in soft lies. You're doing okay. You've got time. Take it easy. But all they do is keep you from everything you're capable of becoming. Want freedom? Then sacrifice convenience. Want power? Then sacrifice laziness. Want legacy? Then sacrifice temporary pleasures. They laughed at the sacrifice until it paid off. Why are you working so hard? Why don't you just relax? Why not enjoy life a little? They don't understand because they're not building what you're building. They're not chasing what you're chasing. They don't want what you want. You have to be willing to miss out now so you can cash in later. Discipline is what builds you, but sacrifice is what costs you. And what costs you changes you. It cuts, it isolates, it hurts, but it also elevates. Every hour you invest while others sleep adds to your empire. Every plan you make while others play becomes your advantage. Every moment you choose discomfort expands your strength. That's the trade. That's the truth. You want a 1% life? Then you better be ready to make 1% choices. No, you won't always fit in. No, you won't be at every party. No, you won't binge every show. No, you won't get to chill every weekend. Because while they chase pleasure, you're chasing purpose. That's what the grind looks like. Not glamorous, not easy, but real. They'll say, you changed. Good. You're always working. Exactly. You're obsessed. Thank you. Because obsession builds empires, and comfort builds excuses. The dream you want requires early mornings, requires lonely nights, requires uncomfortable choices, requires saying no when your whole body wants to say yes. But that's how you win. Not in comfort, but in chaos. Not in ease, but in effort. That's sacrifice. And on the other side of sacrifice, power, respect, control, freedom. Everything you've been praying for is hiding behind what you're scared to give up. You think it's hard now. Imagine being 40, still broke, still lost, still blaming others because you weren't willing to pay the price in your 20s. That's pain you can't escape. So choose your heart, the heart of discipline or the heart of regret, the pain of sacrifice or the pain of mediocrity. Because greatness, it's earned through grind, through tears, through relentless, unsexy, uncomfortable effort. Comfort is a thief. It takes everything, gives you nothing. So burn your excuses, turn off the noise, walk away from average and commit to the cost. Your sacrifice today will be their inspiration tomorrow. You don't deserve it yet. Prove you're ready. Voiceover. On-cam speech. If this message hit your soul, if it made you pause, think, or feel something shift inside you, then don't let it fade. Take that fire and do something with it, because you're not just here to watch, you're here to become. Like the video if it lit something inside you. Comment down below what you're willing to sacrifice for your dream, and subscribe if you're ready to stop talking and start proving. Nobody owes you anything, but the world will notice when you earn everything.